U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
It is now time for Major News to the Hour, brought to you by Crystal Beverages Company, Super Quality Supermarket, Sheikh Elisha Limited, and the Trinidad and Tobago News Day.
So at
This is news to 3 p.m. on U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. I am Aruna Bansi. Good afternoon. In the headlines, Senate passes amendments to the Domestic Violence Act. In Guyana, the opposition, PPP, is confident of court victory. The Senate last night passed legislation that amends the Domestic Violence Act. All senators in the chamber voted for the measure, which introduces new definitions and other measures to the existing law. A motion from an independent senator to have same-sex couples listed as cohabitants was rejected by Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi. The revised law would now be taken to the House of Representatives. Meanwhile, domestic violence is a theory being investigated by the police in the death of Devon Brown of Esmeralda, Cunupia. Brown was stabbed last night, allegedly by a woman he knew. A woman is currently in police custody and assisting in inquiries. There is no threat at this time to the health system being overwhelmed. This confirmation has come from Dr. Erica Wheeler, Pan American Health Organization and World Health Organization representative. Dr. Wheeler said that while there are calls for the borders to be reopened, the government is moving cautiously. She said the COVID-19 cases in the country are imported.
So at this stage, we have no threat of the health service being overwhelmed. We have no new cases that we cannot identify because the 6 cases are clearly identified from the cruise ship. So I believe this is because the government is reasonably confident that there is no community spread, and the World Health Organization has certainly not classified Trinidad and Tobago as having community spread, but what we call.
This was the voice of Dr. Erica Wheeler. The Ministry of Health says that Trinidad and Tobago has gone yet another day without recording another COVID-19 case. To date, a total of 4,340 samples have been sent for testing. Of this number, 3,783 are unique patient tests, while 557 are repeat tests. Confirmed cases remain at 123, with active cases standing at 6. All 6 of these patients are warded at Quora Hospital. The Housing Development Corporation says it is willing to examine any evidence brought by a family to support a claim to a Wallerfield farm earmarked for a housing development. The HGC responded to claims last weekend that the corporation was bullying the Singh family off their farm and bulldozing their crops. HGC Manager Director Brent Lyons said the HGC is a responsible organization and is not intent on seizing anyone's land.
It's not at war with the farmers or the agricultural sector. Let me repeat that. The HGC is not at war with the agricultural sector or the farmers.
That was the voice of Brent Lyons. General Secretary of Guyana's opposition People's Progressive Party, Barrett Jagdeo, says nothing stands in the way of the Guyana's Election Commission declaring a winner of the March 2nd election. Mr. Jagdeo said the declaration would see the People's Progressive Party emerging victorious. He responded to the ruling of Guyana's appeal court yesterday in a legal case brought by a citizen that challenged the election results. The matter is to be determined by the Caribbean Court of Justice. Internationally, hospitals in Phoenix, Arizona, USA are seeing a record number of COVID-19 patients as cases continue to spike in the south and west. This was led by a dramatic increase in young people. We hear more in this report.
One of the largest increases in COVID-19 cases in the country. Numbers nearly doubling in the last 14 days with more than 2,000 new cases on Monday. Now, with only 17% of hospital beds available in Phoenix, nurses on the front line say they're struggling to keep up.
Looking forward at the next few weeks.
Across the country, many states in the north and east have seen fewer new cases, while others in the south and west are seeing record numbers, with 8 states amassing more than 1,000 new cases in the last 24 hours. And still no reports yet of spikes related to protests earlier this month.
This was according to the CNN report. This was the 3 p.m. news on U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Stay tuned for the major newscast at 4 p.m. And up next is Politics 2020 with Ken Ali and Ann Duki. I am Aruna Bansi. Good afternoon.
That was Major News to the Hour, brought to you by Crystal Beverages Company, Super Quality Supermarket, Sheikh Lisha Limited, and the Trinidad and Tobago News Day.
Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liqueur, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs for your every occasion. Come in and take advantage of our specials at reduced prices on liqueur, wholesale and retail. We are open every day, even on public holidays, for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
Grand Diamond Hotel invites you to dine in our newest and exquisite grand opening Chai Thai restaurant situated at LP 12 Golden Grove Road, Piaku. Come and enjoy our authentic Thai and Indian cuisine, and our outdoor terrace would be available from the 22nd of June. We can offer you our indoor and outdoor patio and rooftop restaurant dining. All meats halal. For reservations, call 331-5013-320-1093. Our email address, chaithai19@gmail.com. Opening hours 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. Takeaway and delivery services are available 11 a.m. to 2:20 p.m. Secure parking and excellent services.
Visit Eddie's Pharmacies Limited newest location inside JTA Supermarket C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. They offer blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol and pregnancy testing, as well as all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs, along with CDAP prescriptions. Sagicor Caricare International Medical Card, Guardian Life Provider Card and Republic Bank points are all accepted at their 3 locations of Eddie's Pharmacy Limited. RS Building, Rosha Douglas Road, Barrackpore, GN Building in Pinal, and C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando.
KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Cunupia, for all your plumbing and electrical supplies, water heaters, filters and water pumps, plus all parts for Gould, Pentax and Leo pumps. Choose from leading brands such as Cooper, Varma, BTCino, Leviton and General Electric. Call 665-6954 for more information. KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Cunupia.
3:11 in Trinidad and Tobago and the other territories of the Eastern Caribbean on Tuesday, the 23rd day of June, 2020. Thank you very much for staying with us on U975 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. We appreciate that very much. Time for news and current affairs until 6 p.m. And Duki, yours truly, Ken Ali, here at our studios on a pretty cool day on this Tuesday. We thank our colleague Aruna Bunzi for the 3 p.m. newscast. She's going to be back at 4 p.m. with a major news bulletin, and then just before the 6 p.m. hour. We have a lot to share with you on this frequency. We remind you as we get going that we are also on our YouTube channel, RCLU975, and also you can log on the internet, 975radio.com, and of course I imagine many of you are taking us in on the dial at 975 FM, broadcasting from Trinidad and Tobago on a day that's a little bit damp and not as wet as the past few days, and not as dry and as hot as some other time. There's still a heavy cover of Saharan dust. We'll talk about that. We urge you to be very cautious wherever you are, whatever you're doing. We urge you to drive defensively. Well, a lot as always to share with you on this program. We talk news and current affairs, and we go off onto some matters internationally, including also matters in the nearby Caribbean. We are monitoring the election matter in Guyana. We'll give you an update on that and some other matters throughout the Caribbean. We will tell you what's happening in some of the other places. In Suriname, for example, former President Bouterse has conceded the defeat. In St. Kitts and Nevis, Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris has put in his cabinet together, and then there's some activities in other places. So we thank you very much. You heard the newscast. We are following those and other stories for you. The Senate meeting last night, the House of Representatives to meet tomorrow. Nothing new on the COVID-19 front, but in Trinidad and Tobago, but internationally, you're hearing that a number of cases, the number of deaths around the world, 473,849 deaths. The total number of cases around the world, 9,157,320. In the U.S., 120,913. And the number of cases in the U.S., 2,328,562. So quite a number of cases. The U.S. president making a controversial position about slowing down the number of tests, where his experts, Dr. Fauci and others, are saying what they should be doing is having more tests. But of course, as we head to the election in the United States in early November, the president, who is the incumbent, is trying to paint the best picture possible, trying to jumpstart the economy and trying to portray himself as being a successful president. So that is what is one of the issues behind that. He had that rally in Tulsa last weekend, and there are more rallies that are being planned. We are keeping our eyes on that. We tell you what's happening in Guyana. We give you an update on that matter. That matter is going to the Caribbean Court of Justice. Remember that ruling yesterday. So that in Trinidad and Tobago, the Senate met, and there were some amendments to the Domestic Violence Act, and these are not hugely significant, or well, they are not transformative in the sense that we already have the law, but they are of some note. But then a very interesting thing developed in that independent senator named Hazel Thompson IE suggested that in the definition of couples, cohabitants, that it includes same-sex couples. The opposition abstained, the government voted against, and only 4 of the 9 independent senators voted for the measure. So are we, where do we stand on the issue of same-sex relationships? That is an issue, it is very much alive in Trinidad and Tobago, not only in legislation, but in public life. A lot of discussion on that. We talk about all of those things too. So those are the major issues. The crime situation remains bad as it has been. A number of crimes taking place, murders, domestic violence, and so on. All of that taking place in this country. The police commissioner got in some blows for something he said with respect to the death of the little 2-year-old girl from Tunapuna. And so on and so forth. No ease up on the crime situation. No new measures being announced, and things are the way they have been. And that's really what it is. You know, we are heading to about 225 murders and several other crimes, and all the promises to solve crime and so on have gone silent, where the tears of people losing loved ones remain very much alive and vocal. So we can talk about that too. The national airlines, the Caribbean Airlines, which is being propped up again by taxpayers losing $96.1 million in just a short time of just a few days, and it's shut down about 3 months. Then in Tobago, the THA wants $4.71 billion. That debate is to start on Thursday. So those are some of the matters on our mind today. We want to hear what you have to say through the course of the afternoon. And Duki, yours truly, Ken Ali, with our colleague Shiva Parasram, who has us on YouTube. We remind you of the YouTube channel RCL U975, and we also remind you could log on to 975radio.com, and of course you can listen to us on 975 FM, on the FM dial. Thank you again. Our numbers are 636-7547, 227-5739, and we want to hear what the issues on your mind. Also, developments with respect to candidates. There are some issues in the camp of the PNM. They're not so happy with the Port of Spain South candidate. There is still some dissension we're hearing with respect to Labre and so on. No new candidates named after that initial, several batches leading to 16. And of course, there's a lot of interest and even anxiety among the UNC faithful about the naming of the additional candidates. We'll continue as much as we can. But we want to get your take on the issues of the day. Let's talk to this caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kenan.
Good afternoon.
They want to replace the candidate from Borwell.
They want to replace them?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I find that that's what she was presented.
No, you can't. But the constituency executive is saying they don't know her. That she can come and check them out herself. We don't know if that is true. Maybe she abroad. I don't know. But
maybe they just trying to second guess the woman.
But she is unknown to the constituency, and that's a fact.
Right, and they do did on the same thing too. You know what I think they should put there? I'm telling everybody that they just put their PNM activist named Twiggy. You know that lady?
Twiggy, yes.
Twiggy?
Yeah, she's a popular activist. I meant.
Yeah, then it's Twiggy Day.
But you know, yeah.
This whole thing, Mr. Ken.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, you know, there's a lot of internal politics in there and there's in other places. There are people who are loyal to the outgoing Member of Parliament, Marlene MacDonald. I'm not suggesting she's pulling any strings.
There's a lot of supporters.
Yes, she does. Good afternoon.
Ken and Ann, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Forgive me after that I highlighted on your radio program, and that is the 4 students in India.
Oh,
yes.
Before I just say of a new development of Trinidad, I didn't want to come. I feel their pain, all right, but at the moment, a flight is leaving. I just want to highlight this. In July this 18th from India, British Airways flight to London, then to Barbados and things. But before these students can get on the flight, they need an exemption or proof of an exemption that they'll be permitted into Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
Despite several efforts by our the lawyer who's representing, the minister has not responded. As of today, even a list of those people who are in Asian. I now spoke to somebody from the Ministry of National Security, and there are hundreds and perhaps thousands of such things. But the thing about it, if these children do not get the exemption in a matter of a day or two, flight at British Airways flight from India is going to be filled because of mad rush.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm appealing to anybody out there, anybody who can help. They lose that flight with an impending and possible war between India and China. It's going to tell chaos.
Okay, could I ask you a few questions?
Sure, please. Thank you.
Have you followed up any follow-up requests to the Ministry of National Security here?
Several times.
No, what's the latest? What's the latest?
Up to today.
Up to today. What response you got?
Of course. Pardon?
What response? What has been
no
response?
No response.
So what kind of a request you made? On email, on calls, or what did you do?
Exactly what I told you there. Exactly. Our attorney who's been on top of this is doing everything. And she explained to me exactly what I told you there and asking if he can, prioritize just for the benefit of these 4 students or whoever in India to get on that flight after this 18th of, he was told.
No, we understand all that. You told us all that. You told us all that. All I'm trying to establish is what were the specific measures you undertook to try to get them on the flight.
The Trinidad High Commission in India who are going to do the needful. And he has not been doing that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for... Okay. I wanted to hear that, you see, today we wrote the minister again.
It has appearance to call the minister attorney.
Right. Or today I went and I sat in the minister's office. I wanted to hear that. I didn't want to... We know the backdrop to it. We're following the story very closely and very concerned about the welfare of the young Trinidadians. We're very concerned about that.
We know when June 30th come, their cards, their SIM cards
we know
expire.
The backstory. I wanted to know the specific measures undertaken. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ali.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Ali, I didn't hear
the court said it is really a play on words in it, what you call semantics, that the count must go on be based on valid number of votes, valid. All right? Anyway, so the matter is going to be headed to the Caribbean Court of Justice.
Jeez, wrinkle. Look, I just get, from all of the people in the high places in the legal fraternity in Guyana, though aiding and abetting David Granger, he doesn't want to come out of power.
Yes. Yeah.
Because of all the money that they're expecting to get from the oil fine, that gas fine, and the Chief Justice and whoever else at the top of the legal fraternity, they're helping him to stay in office. So this is going to drag. I mean, you're talking about the whole of March, April, May, June, and now when this matter is dragging on.
Yes.
It's better they leave David Granger in office there or burn down the place. What are they doing? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the CCJ is to rule on that matter. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ken.
Good afternoon.
Did I hear the parents say something about the Indian High Commission? I know that, but did he say something about the Indian High Commission representation for children?
I don't
know.
No,
they apply through their attorneys for exemption.
I think I heard some of the Indian High Commission too, but
all right, well, maybe. I can't recall.
We have to understand that we have Minister of National Security and a Prime Minister. The Minister of National Security Extension reports with the Prime Minister. If you apply
these questions, because I think it is important for him to understand that you have to wage a campaign.
Could write whatever you want to write, but you are the parent.
Yeah, lawyers do what they want, eh? But I agree with you. You have to be aggressive.
Make appeal to the Minister of National Security
and go public.
We want to hear you sit at the office and wait until you get justice.
Make noise, get on. You know what I mean? You mean unruly way,
Okay, thank you.
Good
Hello,
afternoon.
good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Ali and Ms. Ann.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Ken, this thing with the EBC and the renewing of the ID card.
Yes.
What is your view on that?
I said so yesterday. I have some concerns about the timing of this, and I saw on the timing of this process could lead to possibly some fraud or some measure of wrongdoing.
Yeah, well, with the picture of the people lining up outside of the EBC office to renew their ID card.
Right.
But I think the whole process of this is to pull in the Venezuela them secretly.
Yeah, well, this is what
I think
we're concerned about.
And listen, man, this EBC, there's a law unto itself, you know. Remember, I always tell you that the PNM have key players in strategic position. In this, they could do what they want without regards to anybody. Because and this proves it. Because look at the last election. The court proved that they had no jurisdiction in granting the hour. But yet still, that wouldn't have initiated the outcome of his election. You know, it come like, I take Stephen Cook, but it didn't affect me. So, you know, I ain't going to do no craziness. So that is all right. You know, but these people, I don't know, boy, all these constitutional lawyers like Mr. Rami, the COP fella, thing there. That is brilliant constitutional lawyers.
And we're not hearing them in this matter.
Exactly. Okay, then.
Thank you. Now, the report out of this is the PPP General Secretary, Bharat Jagdeo, right, and Dr. Irfan Ali, who's, of course, the presidential candidate, serve a notice that they're going to appeal this matter to the CCJ. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Ken, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, Pan.
Before you proceed, let me tell, because I've been following your comments there. Right now, Mr. Young,
you're breaking up on that. Oh, no, the quality of the call is not so good.
Yeah, let me try again.
Right.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes,
much better.
All right. I have in my possession, Mr. Of course, no response. We requested a meeting with him, no response. So we parents are meeting 4 o'clock, 4:30 this afternoon to plan a course of action, all right? We've been trying to be, on the legal side of things all along, but we are running out, totally situation is drastic measures, and we're not going to sit in it.
Well, you said it very well. Absolutely.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Call us back and update us on it.
Yes, keep us informed on progress. And we're not suggesting anything unlawful. Of course, we wouldn't do that. We're just suggesting that you press some more knobs and you be a little more vocal, a little more assertive. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Ken.
Good afternoon.
With respect to the Guyana situation.
Yes.
The results of the election, that will not be decided by the CCJ. A frivolous matter was taken to the court, the appeal court, to determine what are valid votes from what are votes cast. The applicants requested 5 orders.
That's right.
The appeal court, the EPP has gone to the CCJ with respect to the authority of the appeal court to deal with that matter with respect to section 177 of the Guyanese constitution. The matter with respect to the results rests squarely with the Guyana Election Commission. The court did not grant the relief that the applicant sought to block GCOM from determining the results of the election. They had a meeting carded for the day. It was postponed.
That's right.
Yeah, I guess the postponement, 3 days stay of execution of the appeal court's order. But there's in effect no order to put in place. So I can't understand the execution.
Did the court grant an injunction against GCOM?
The appeal court
right. So therefore, right. So I'm just trying to interpret this along with you. It may be that what Mr. Bara Jagde was saying is correct, and Irfan Ali also, that the GCOM can meet and can announce a winner. That is their analysis. They issued a lengthy statement. So they may well be correct in what they're saying.
But that process is dependent on the chief elections officer producing
That's right.
the results.
Mr. Lowenfield.
Yeah, with respect to the valid, and we're using the term valid votes because the appeal court said they had jurisdiction to determine votes cast as being valid votes.
Now, here what in Guyana is saying today. While legal analysts had said that the Court of Appeal decision did not restrain GCOM from declaring a result, it appears that the PPPC is taking no chances and wants the final word from the CCJ, a final ruling by the CCJ on the controversy March 2nd general election would conclude the process without any further dispute.
Was that newspaper the Chronicle?
This is Starbrook News.
Starbrook News, okay, right.
Yeah.
Well, whichever way, I don't think, I'm following the issue, clearly. I don't think that they took the matter with respect to the results of the election to the CCJ. It is whether the appeal court had jurisdiction to deal with the matter. That is what they are taking.
All right. Now, the question arising out of this, well, there are several questions arising. One of which is, would the matter at the CCJ be the final step, the final legal challenge? Or would there be other possible legal challenges?
Well, coming out of this whole scenario, the PPP is saying that for the APNUF go to the High Court. You understand?
With a separate legal action.
Yeah, in order to further stymie the process.
Yeah. Well, as one of our earlier callers said, this thing is going to go on and on the system. It's very sad. It's very, very sad.
With respect to the Court of Appeals ruling, with respect to valid votes cast, all the statement of recount is stated these are the valid votes that were cast.
Mm-hmm.
So every document is saying that the votes that were cast valid.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
That's right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
as they say. And now I read two of the judges'
rulings.
statements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ruling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the president of the court, she's a woman, right? She was clear in saying that the only relief granted of the 5 reliefs sought, the votes cast can be interpreted as valid votes cast.
Mm-hmm.
Other 4 reliefs blocking GCOM and the chief elections officer and 2 others were not granted. So there is nothing in place to prevent GCOM from going through the process, as I say, with the chief elections officer.
Yes, and that is what the PPPC is saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Okay, but you know, the real lawyers have a different opinion.
Yes, indeed, and they're high-priced lawyers, some from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, well, the PPP is represented by Douglas Mendez, and the APNFU is represented by
John Jeremy.
And I think it's Keith Scotland.
Had a legal battle.
Yeah.
Indeed.
In Guyana.
In Guyana. Yes, thank you for your analysis. Thank you very much. 26 minutes to 4, and that is a comprehensive analysis of that issue. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Triple E.
Yes.
Today we listened to Fenton Ramsahar. There are whole stories in there.
Mm-hmm. The late Fenton Ramsahar.
Great man.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, I heard they want to change the name COVID-19 only in Trinidad and Tobago and name it Murder 19. Thank you.
Murder 19?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Well, it's 19, I'm sorry, that's what I wanted to say. Many more murders than 19. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Ken. Is it Ann?
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. How would they determine what are genuine votes from what are false votes in Guyana?
Yeah, how would that be determined? Well, I thought, I mean, I am no legal expertise here, but I thought the mere wording of the Constitution was enough to explain that.
I think they should call in the United Nations, because apparently Granger, who is another Burnham, and you remember when Morgan Changarai won, right? What Mugabe tell him, you're not moving, right? Power too sweet, and the whole thing about it, none of them could handle power, right? 1983, I was 18 years old, and I went to Guyana, right? And I saw what Burnham did to Guyana. That man raped and ravaged that country. They had no food, they had no jobs. The only thing they did, some of them run Trinidad, some who could go Canada, United States. Do you know in New York, they have a place called Liberty Avenue?
Yeah. And in Queens, many of them settle in Queens, yes.
It used to be inhabited by one idiot called Forbes Burnham. I mean, they can't run nothing. Look at the Rowley here. They can't run nothing. They could rob and thief an election and have, how you call it, email gate and all kind of thing. Rob treasury. And when somebody else have to come and pull back the treasury, and then the fools will go and put back the black leaders, right? So
7547 227 5739. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. Ken.
Hi.
Now, since this government coming in office, you well, it was almost the term almost up.
Yes.
You could analyze what was the true figure to achieve in their tenure.
Say that again.
You would their term have almost come to an end. What was their agenda? You know what they were seeking to do for this country.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, boy, I come to a conclusion that they came to plunder and rape this country.
Well, it couldn't be that. But no, you want to have
no positive agenda. It's like they come to, like to put it in simple, take what they could, right, and sell out what they could, and they care after. You know, he only fiddling toes. You know, to put square peg in wrong hole, and he know what the hell he's doing. You know, when you analyst. Well, I put out, I delete Vasan from my vocabulary, you know that, right?
Okay.
So like the Ved Siriam, who I have in high regard, and I don't think you would ever go down to that low that referring former friend Vas went. You know, when these people, you know, you could plan and path a way forward,
Right.
but these people, the man with the short man syndrome, he have no clue about doing that. Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, well, the quality of that call is not so good. Hello? Could you move from where you are a bit?
Yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
You hear me better?
That's right.
Prior to the 2015 election, the then opposition leader, now Prime Minister, said that if the PNN should lose the election, the Hills of Lavanta will come down. Right? He made that then. And when he got into office, during his term, he said that get prepared to weed off the government. So which means that he did these people continually to their own contingent to social unrest and mash up the place and, you know, for that purpose. But trying to deliver is a problem. So, I mean, these people have to open their eyes and see they has been used and continue to be used and try to wheel themselves off the PNM by not voting for them so often. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
you.
Good afternoon to you. We lost you.
Caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Ken, the Ghana Election Commission, they would have the authority to decide which votes. You remember in 86 in Trinidad, restitutions Tamanu East, where they were because the name of the voter could be identified with the vote.
Yes.
And therefore it is not valid, and that was discounted. So they have their rules. So what is the part with GCOM? GCOM has to be playing the fool with this whole thing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Pandit, yes.
Again, kindly permit me one, and that is on the Guyana elections. Ken, I was so happy to hear the name Dr. Fenton Ramsahoy mentioned in the program. Dr. Ramsahoy died about 2-3 years now. He was actually the legal guru of Anand, but it is alleged, and let me repeat that, it is alleged. You see, it was highly well, the Granger did not go to the High Court. They went to the Appeals Court. And that raises several questions. It is alleged that one of the appeal court rather, has a child with a PNC minister and has been the recipient of the largest of PNC, whatever it is. And in all of these, it may seem remote, but when you put everything together, the big snake is Granger, nobody else. Thank you.
Yes, well, it shows how, if what you're saying is correct, it shows how compromised justice in Guyana, similar to, I imagine, what's taking place in Venezuela, where the Supreme Court is loyal to Maduro. Good afternoon.
Evening, Mr. Kenali.
Yes.
Evening,
Hello.
You know, Mr. Ali, I find the thing with those students in India, as far as I am aware, the government of national security is supposed to have a list of all the students are supposed to be prioritized, right? All the situations they're in, and how early practically possible for them to get flights, and you put the exemptions according to prioritize the exemptions. And I think the second flight that leaving us, I don't know, I think the second flight that leaving after the parents, and they're not getting the exemption. So what exemption?
They have to agitate aggressively. They have to make noise. That is the only language the government understands.
We live in a
civilized modern society.
Where we have all this.
There's a discriminatory government. You have to understand that.
So what they're going to lie down in the road in Port Harcourt.
We heard.
You have to make noise. Unfortunately, it's the nature of governance.
But they have a process, right? To apply for the exemption. They already done the process.
the only thing I will see holding it back there is the ministers to itemize and say, well, once you can remember a flight, not like we go in Princess Thomas Savannah.
And it is also incompetent. So on the basis of both factors, that's why our citizens are where they are.
Incompetence, I mean, I don't know what to say. Well, I think the Black Flag should jump on board and have a national thing about it. I find it really unfair to the students. I remember that students, they're not adults that have money they can spend on it.
And there are also 9 sportsmen with the 4 students to return from India. Yes.
Yeah, take care, bye.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. 15 minutes to the hour, 4 p.m. on this Tuesday. We continue to take your calls. Good afternoon.
Mr. Ali, good afternoon to you, and Anne, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It is very, very sad to know a man would care about himself and destroy the country that he belongs to, and don't care about nothing else but himself, and keep Guyana with this, my I can't use the word, Mr. Ali. Honest to God, they are wicked. They are deceitful people. You understand? But justice will prevail. The people will prevail there. You understand? So he go ahead and play all the games you want. And play all in duck and hiding and up and down. So he go ahead. You know, it remind me of a man they call Keith Christopher Rowley. He was in opposition and he had the power. Opposition, he had the power to call the EBC and tell the EBC extend an hour for me. You understand? So you have to solve the question, who inside of there is with the People's National Movement? And when you never house and fire what on yours, you have wondering. He went inside Sandals. He said, listen to me, when you will come in Tobago and we go to the hotel, but he was the opposite. And about himself. And what happened? The mashing of the country in Trinidad. Those who got Ghana are going to mash up again. The mashing of the country.
Okay.
Their party
Thank you, pal. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ali.
Hi. 96.1 million. That's in addition to the loan they took recently, eh?
Well, I just have a couple of questions. Are we subsidizing fuel for that airline still? I don't know. I'm asking. Because
I don't
know. The citizens paying higher rates at the pump.
Yes.
That's it. That's one.
And that's a relevant question.
Right. When they changed the name of that airline from BWIA, which I think was taken away from the colonial shackles, they named it CAL. All other airlines in the world represent their country, promote their country with air. We promote the Caribbean. So nobody knows Trinidad. People know St. Lucia, they don't know Trinidad and the airline. Right? With respect to the airline being profitable, most airlines now make their money from freight, transport of freight. Caribbean Airlines has not even ventured into that option. Right? These children are stranded in India. Not a plan to bring these people home. You have an airline sitting here, racking up dollars, doing nothing, and you're not using it to bring in people home. Right? These are the questions people ask. You know,
We should have had a holistic plan for bringing home our citizens. Identify where they are and create a timeline for bringing them home.
All responsible countries in the world, the first thing they did was bring their people home.
That's right.
Whether you have a high curve or a high broad.
That's why I said the government has been discriminatory in this matter.
No, they have left the people out to show that they have a good curve. They are flattening a curve. But you cannot flatten a curve if everybody is not in the house. I can't say my family is safe if people still outside. You understand?
That's
so
right.
it's skewed. It's skewed. But another thing, we're talking about colonial shackles and the Christopher Columbus and it. What's the calling code on CAL, Caribbean Airlines? When you look at the screen, there's still BW.
Yeah, well, that pertains to landing rights and so on.
Well, that could be changed. That could be changed. I've seen new airlines pop up and their name is up there already. Right? BW still. Understand? So these are just some of the things that, I mean, people need to look at these things. This airline is costing taxpayers money and it's not being utilized properly. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good evening. Colin, I just see a program again, but when people go on saying like,
The country in good these days, and trust me. We don't want us now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ken. Good afternoon,
good afternoon.
Ken, you know something? When we talk about Caribbean Airlines, we must understand something, that the market in Trinidad wants to run an airline, you know. So when you say Caribbean Airlines, what you want to do is so that the entire Caribbean is your market. You have a wider market to deal with. So don't get vexed because I did not say Trinidad and Tobago. And you know, Ken, when the UNC got Caribbean Airlines in 2010, you know it was a healthy airline, $800 million in profit in the bank. The airline was in the black, eh? But what happened was simply this. Mr. Ducal went to cabinet and told them that he wanted to keep Lockjack as chairman of Caribbean Airlines, and Lockjack must go.
But but you sound like if you were in the cabinet room, eh?
Oh, I can tell you for sure. You want to know why? You want to know? Over $1.2 billion in the red, and then Hawaii had to come with a sour face and tell us Caribbean Airlines have a governance issue. He fired the chairman. Right? Every night in the place, but Ken, at the end of the day, Caribbean Airlines, when it was made, Caribbean Airlines was made a lean and trim airline by Lockjack, and it was well managed, well managed. And even though Caribbean Airlines was getting back in the black, but it's the COVID crisis, which have virtually, airlines all around the world are virtually crashing right now. And Caribbean Airlines got a $14 million US hole that they have to sell them because of the situation. Blame anything on any bad management of Caribbean Airlines. Caribbean Airlines is being run well. And we have to remember that. One other thing before I go, Ken. Systematically, this government has been bringing back nationals from all over the world. But remember, right? And the space is not infinite, it's finite.
5 places we could quarantine people. There are any number of places we could quarantine people. It doesn't call for any great measure of medical facilities and so on that we can't place there.
You don't need a hospital.
No, Eric, I thought you were going well, and that's why I didn't intervene. Good afternoon to you.
Well, Mr. Ali, make a minute. I live in Mr. Pandey. When PNM had the BWIA and it wasn't making no money, is when Pandey and Dupree them, and they were seeing money. It was the first time ever in the history that the BWIA was making money in profit. You understand? So, Eric, get your facts straight, my brother. When the People's Partnership was there, they was making money. You understand? So don't come here and follow.
Right. Well, you see, what we're doing here is cherry picking. And Valley privatized to a man named Akka. And that is when the part of the decline. And we sold our landing rights to Heathrow. And then we have to go to the smaller airport. What's the name of the smaller airport? All of that is part of the story. We can't cherry pick. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
Remember, a man said the government of Trinidad and Tobago is not closing down Secretary. That same thing for American Caribbean Airlines just now.
All, yes.
Yeah, Ken, last minute there. I heard you say that the attorney John Jeremy, former AG, and another guy is a representative in Guyana.
Yes.
But is that physically or through Skype? And
I couldn't tell you. That's a good question, and I really couldn't answer
that.
Yeah,
because that's why I wonder is because he was in Mayaro and he was robbed sometime.
But I mean, he moved away from there. You think Andre get robbed?
How did he get out of Togo Guyana?
Yeah, no,
that's a good question.
How did he get out of the country to go Guyana?
Well,
maybe Eric could answer with that one.
Probably he has a representative.
Or maybe Ken friend the David said I think that she maybe have good strings.
Who's that?
I don't know if it's G strings, but probably it has good strings. Wait after.
You're not mood today.
Mr. Ali, good afternoon. Mr. Duki, good afternoon. Mr. Duki, with your permission, can I change the conversation a little bit?
Yes, sure.
You know, I was looking at Beyond the Tape last night with Superintendent Alexander, and I see a 2-year-old get shot. Black lives don't matter again. A 2-year African girl gets shot, and no Black lives matter again. It does. Black lives is for certain things and for not certain things. Mr. Ali, we usually going, you know.
Yes.
Nobody cry out. No family, no father, nothing cry out.
David Abdullah didn't mount a protest.
But since I happen in America, a Black Lives Matter over there.
We're a copycat society.
Charlie, I'm telling you, hear me.
Go ahead.
If bad can't see the day, no photo is on, you know.
No, but listen.
Hear me, the phone buying, the only St. Marlon say, what boiling, spoiling? What don't boil, don't spoil, and what boil go spoil.
Yeah, you know, if there is a protest in... Oh, we got to go to the top of the
hour.
But let me make this comment very quickly. If there...
Time has come. New 97.5. Make it your choice. Something forever. 7.5 FM. Music for you. It's all about you.
5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
It is now time for Major News to the Hour, brought to you by Crystal Beverages Company, Super Quality Supermarket, Sheikh Elisha Limited, and the Trinidad and Tobago News Day.
This is Major News to 4 p.m. on Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio. In the headlines, police continue investigations into the death of St. James teen. Senate passes amendments to the Domestic Violence Act. The government secures a U.S. $500 million bond. In Guyana, the opposition PPP is confident of court victory. The police are continuing investigations into the murder of St. James teenager. 16-year-old Road was found shot at an abandoned house at Aboud Circular at about 5 p.m. yesterday. Parks was taken to the St. James Medical Complex where she succumbed to her injuries. An autopsy was being performed today and the police confirmed that investigations are continuing. The Senate last night passed amendments to the Domestic Violence Act. All senators in the chamber voted for the measure, which introduced new definitions and other measures to the existing law. A motion to have same-sex couples listed as cohabitants was rejected by Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi. Government senators voted against the proposal, the opposition abstained, and 4 of the 9 independent members supported the measure. The proposal was submitted by Independent Senator Hazel Thompson I. The revised law would now be taken to the House of Representatives. Domestic violence is a theory being investigated by the police in the death of Devon Brown. Brown was stabbed last night, allegedly by a woman he knew. A woman is currently in police custody and assisting in inquiries. At Rosilac, the police unit arrested a 44-year-old man after Colum Imbert says the government has negotiated a U.S. $500 million international bond. The bond was launched by the with an interest rate of 4.5%. Mr. Imbert said the bond had been oversubscribed. The bond as a tremendous achievement. He added that this was the result of good international credit ratings. In general election news, the Port of Spain's South Constituency Executive of People's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley over the proposed candidate. The PNM has identified sportswoman Cleopatra Burrell as the candidate, but the constituency executive said Mr. Burrell is known to Miss Burrell, is not known to them and that she has not yet introduced herself, the executive claimed through several constituencies. Watson Duke, the minority leader in the Tobago House of Assembly, is claiming that the $1 million, but rather that should be $1 billion budget for the island would place the country in debt. Mr. Duke responded to the budget proposal of Chief Secretary Ansel Dennis, which was presented yesterday. Mr. Duke said the budget was a rehash of previous statements by the PNM-led THA. The minority leader is scheduled to respond to the budget of the THA on Thursday. Also in Tobago, PNM stalwart Neil Wilson died yesterday at age 88. Mr. Wilson had chaired the Tobago Council of PNM for 17 years before his retirement in 2017. He was a member of the PNM for 59 years. He also served Tobago House of Assembly. All licensing offices in the country are now open, the Ministry of Works and Transport has announced, but everyone except seniors hired to pre-book appointments. The ministry said that used car dealers would continue to utilize the special arrangements made by the Transport Commissioner at Caroni, Redondo offices. Regionally, General Secretary of Guyana's opposition People's Progressive Party, Barrett Jagdeo, says nothing stands in the way of the Guyana's Elections Commission declaring a winner of the March 2nd election. Mr. Jagdeo said the declaration would see the People's Progressive Party emerging victorious in court yesterday in a legal case brought by a citizen that challenges the election results. The matter is to be determined by the Caribbean Court of Justice. Internationally, hospitals in Phoenix, Arizona, USA are seeing a record number of COVID-19 patients as cases continue to spike in the south and west. This has been led by a dramatic increase in infections among young people. We hear more in this report.
Numbers nearly doubling in the last 14 days with more than 2,000 new cases on Monday. Now, with only 17% of hospital beds available in Phoenix, nurses on the front line say they're struggling to keep up.
Looking forward at the next few weeks.
Across the country, many states in the north and east have seen fewer new cases, while others in the south and west are seeing record numbers, with 8 states
and reports. This was Major News to 4 p.m. on U97.5 FM. Hot Like Pepper multi. Stay tuned for the next newscast at 6 p.m. Continuing is Politics 2020 with Ken Ali and Ann Duki. I am Aruna Bansi. Good afternoon.
That was Major News to the Hour, brought to you by Crystal Beverages Company, Super Quality Supermarket, Sheikh Leisha Limited, and the Trinidad and Tobago News Day.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our 2 pounds, 2 kg bags for wholesale and retail prices. Contact Sheikh Leisha Limited, 665-3336.
Venture Road Gasparillo for your business and personal tool and rental needs. Available for rent. Coring machines, compactors, concrete vibrators, demolition hammers, drills, saws, scarifiers, pressure washers, generators, welding units, trash pumps, hydrostatic test pumps, and so much more. We offer free transport in and around Gasparillo. Call us at 650-2362 or 789-4581 for more information.
For quality items, visit Super Quality Supermarket of Endeavor Road, Chaguanas, and Trin City Industrial Estate in Trin City, as well as Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket, Cuba Car Park, for all your grocery items, liquor, fresh fruits, and vegetables, not forgetting their bed and bath section and kitchen appliances for your home. With so many items to choose from, take advantage of our great prices and discounts at any of our 3 locations, Trin City, Endeavor Road, Chaguanas, and Cuba. For quality items, Super Quality Supermarket and Quality Cash and Carry Supermarket.
A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited of 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo for all your hardware materials from foundation to finish. Not forgetting all your general contracting needs. We have it all at A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited, located at 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo. Just call Tiki Ali at 650-2180.
We are wholesalers and retailers of plywood, an assortment of lumber, galvanized pipe, hollow section, and steel. Customers can enjoy special prices on white pine and
Visit Eddie's Pharmacies Limited newest location inside JTA Supermarket, C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. They offer blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and pregnancy testing, as well as all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs, along with CDAP prescriptions. Sagicor Caricare International Medical Card, Guardian Life Provider Card, and Republic Bank Points are Pharmacy Limited. RS Building, Rocha Douglas Road, Barrackpore, GN Building in Pinal, and C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liquor, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs for your every occasion. Come in and take advantage of our specials at reduced price every day, even on public holidays for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
4:09 now in Trinidad and Tobago. This Tuesday, 23rd day of June. We continue to take your calls at 636-7547, 227-5739. We are discussing the matters in the newscast and other matters that may be on your mind. A lot is taking place at this time, as we always been saying. The election is getting ever closer. One of the matters we have not spoken about today, but a major presence in Trinidad and Tobago. There is a heavy dampness and a virtual darkness in some areas. Visibility is not what it usually is, especially in at the foothills of the various ranges and so on. So if you are affected, we want to hear this story with respect to that. And if you're having problems, respiratory problems and so on, we'd like to hear that.
Ken, but you were telling me about the good side of it, the lovely sunsets.
Yeah, and the sunrises.
Yeah,
and
sunrises.
A lot of people are taking wonderful pictures. That's something you could do and probably post on social media. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dr. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You hear my queries? Right. Eric have a tiny name. His tiny name is Sinan. So that's why he always trying to pin something on the UN. Stop Sinan.
Okay.
Eric.
Eric is listening.
Indeed he is. 411-636-7547, 227-5739. We are also on YouTube at RCLU 975. Good afternoon.
Mr. Ali, they want to know now if the spike with the virus in America, particularly among the young people, has anything to do with the Black Lives Matter demonstration.
And yes, and that is a good question.
A lot of them then had masks and they really jab and jump up. All the time young people wasn't getting the virus, and the majority of the people out there were young people. You understand? Young people were out there, some of them are children and all kind of things. And today we are seeing a spike in all the states in America, all that had all these demonstrations. You see, they should have known that, but they didn't know that. They were studying Black Lives Matter. Thank you, sir.
No, but Justin, you there?
Yeah.
No, I know you monitor the news and so on. How has CNN been doing generally lately?
CNN is the same old thing, Mr. Ali. As I told you, they never talk about social distancing.
During that protest.
During those protests, yes. But you know, from the time Trump hold a meeting, the man, people will be wearing masks, they'll be tested before they go into the venue. And then the moderator asks the doctor, is that good enough?
Yeah, Dr. Sanjay.
He said, no, that's not good enough.
You must monitor MSNBC and get
but it's too much bias going on. You see all of them using this coronavirus to campaign.
Yes.
It's all about campaign because the election coming up just now in November. You understand?
You tell me you don't have Fox. Well, Fox is the other side of the argument, eh?
Yeah, but I don't get Fox.
Yes.
Thank God.
You're right. The exact opposite. Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, well, the inherent biases really, I mean, I make all the biases on CNN, got to pick them up, but in CNN, Fox is the other side of the argument. It's not going to change as they had that election in November. Now they're putting Biden as ahead, double-digit lead. Let's see how that turns out. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Mr. Kennedy.
Good afternoon, sir.
You think in any institution really in the world there's that people that has be neutral? Very rare. The closest thing is that when you have like guidelines where the car really, and still even
that you could interpret.
But at the end of the day, you can't be biased to the fact of causing collateral damage or like causing. Because you bias up the way fear but border and where you have open periods and so on. I think
as you saying that, just let me say this. As you're saying that, where a court had to interpret whether 33 was more than 32 and the court said no. So, you know, everything comes down to interpretation, and even some interpretation are not obvious.
You must have some preference. If you may bias, you have a preference. That part of humanity, yeah. Yeah, man,
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. 4:14, we are monitoring all these matters that we're talking about. The Saharan dust, we want to get some updates on that. What is the other matters? Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ali.
Good afternoon.
I just want to go back to the 4 o'clock news.
Yes.
What is it about the licensing office?
They are open for business. And are you a senior citizen?
Yes.
Then you don't have to make an appointment. But if you are not, you have to make an appointment.
To renew license and so on?
Yeah, to do anything at all.
All right.
You want it, we have a full release here. So if you want any questions answered,
no, well, that's good. This is one time old age working for me.
Yeah. Old age working. That's right.
But to the Sahara does know.
Yes.
Anyhow, I look around. I seen this. I thought a lot of people thought it was rain.
So too.
Yeah, it's real dust in the song area.
But you know, David Rudder said dust in your face.
Yes. If I live here, I could see using St. Madeleine. Yeah, I could see footer up St. Charles going up to Princeton. I could even see down Bellarmine, Reform area, Point up there and so on, you know. So I show up by Ann and there must be plenty too. So this is a real terrible thing here, man.
It is.
Yeah. One of the callers said that the elections in Guyana, somebody you should come in because we have one election very soon in Trinidad. Last straw to bring the camel back.
Well, you know, that matter with Kamal Mohammed had to do with the fact that there is no provision for a deputy prime minister in the constitution. Good afternoon to you.
I'm Charlie. I'm bad between Fox and them. I will tell you this. Fox have some of the best looking women in the world reporting.
Yes, I think there has to be a precondition, you know.
And I ain't no boy.
You know, it has to be.
Them girls could be in Hollywood anytime.
Yes, I feel that's why it is what Fox.
How you mean?
Thank you very much.
Start watching RCL.
No, I take our friend from Long Circular, just service provider, and said, listen, sign me up for Fox. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Well, let me say good morning to you, Ken. Good afternoon to you, Ken.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kingsley.
And good afternoon to you, Ms. Dookie.
Good afternoon.
And why I was so excited to say morning. Ken, an incident took place with me this morning, and I believe it's politically moved on me this morning. Work. And not leave my community, not reach on the main road. It's 2 police jeep pull up on me. I have guns and ammunition in my vehicle. Close. I cannot understand that how I not leave home, the police know my timing of leaving home, and they say so. So I call a partner of mine. But I call God Christopher. And I tell him, God Christopher, boy, you know the police now say what I have guns and ammunition in my vehicle, and they put what they do a cop. So, and he telling me all the police are telling me they knew him from making live on Facebook. And they charge him for obscene language.
Oh, right. Okay. Good.
Making live, asking questions about the government. Ken, some months ago, I went on the national airwave and I reported that a police in Shogunov is targeting me on Facebook. It's there on the frequencies and them what I call in about 6 to 7, 8 months ago.
But Kingsley, walk us through what happened this morning after the police approached you.
Well, I asked them, what is the hurry up somebody last week? I said last week. And they get some information that a person, me, like I drive in Abluka now, and they search me, and they're doing the work. I said, I don't have a problem doing the work, but look over my uniform, I'm going to work, and my law, but they said they don't care about that. They get information that this car, and they call in, and the station, actually, number my name and all kind of things. Ken, I believe, because I see a police was suspended for saying that it's PNM. Ken, we always say that the police service is a PNM. I say no more about that because I do not want my life to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kingsley. What you didn't tell us is what
You didn't tell us the outcome of it.
All right, and what became of Garth?
Did you get
Garth
charged or
Christopher.
anything?
Give us an update
Call us
on
back and
Garth.
let us know, Kingsley.
Good
Hello,
afternoon.
good afternoon.
Sir,
Good afternoon.
what age is considered to be a senior citizen?
What age is considered a senior citizen?
Yeah, from what age?
Yeah, good question. Let me see. We have the release with us. So let me see if they put an age to
because
that.
senior citizens,
You're
I
right.
want to know for what
Well,
age
here's
is
what it
considered
says.
a senior
It's citizens are exempted from the use of the existing appointment system at all locations. So what age, they do not define that.
Well, we need to know that.
Entitled to get NIS, and that is considered a
Yeah.
senior citizen.
At 60?
Yes.
Yeah, so we are...
I would presume that.
We are assuming
I
that.
have some business and I'm over 60.
But they didn't put a specific age, considered a senior citizen.
I asked the question because you might sign the license officer and they say, no, well, senior citizen is 65. So we need to have that specified before we end up in
They
a
should have done
situation.
that.
Yes, they
Yeah.
they did not say so.
Somebody in authority listening and correct.
Yeah, and he had dealing with that he was charged. Sir.
Charged when? Yesterday?
No, today. The same day, the same morning. It happened to me. It was happening to
okay.
at the same time.
Okay.
So,
All
so,
right.
so he was charged for obscene language.
Yes.
And they tell me that I could go ahead now. After they done the catch man in the street, my car had this man heavy vibes. And again, I couldn't believe this is how they gave permission that my car have guns and ammunition in it. I started to tremble. I said, because Ken, I never been charged in my life about drugs or anything. And I was shocked because Ken, the police stopped is slow down, for me to pass. After I pass, I hear woo behind me. When I look back, so I stopped, put over, and I'm going to walk now. Come on, the vehicle. They give me my vehicle and telling me how I ignorant that I'm doing the work. I don't care. I'm a law abiding and I'm entitled to ask the police why I'm where the situation me down for and what is the reason why. Because can anybody for to kill me or not because I know my good friend Galita dead and I don't know people like us can want the media want make them we entitled to get killed because of what we say or what we didn't say or who would take we supported.
Kingsley, I see you on the radio, eh? I see you provoking a certain lady on Facebook. But that's another conversation.
Okay, I got
Thank you, Kingsley. Thank you. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Ken, have you ever had Cocoa Bell chocolate?
Chocolate, cocoa chocolate, yes, what we said.
No, not Cocoa chocolate.
Who?
Cocoa Bell. No idea what Cocoa
And you know what's that?
Cocoa Bell
That's a brand?
Is that the chocolate from
it is manufactured by an elite white family who's
yes.
been for many years, and they own oil and gas and everything. And they are called the Brash family, just like the Brash and A&V oil drilling.
Okay.
And they also own oil and gas. So anyway, we won't talk about them because you can't. They're untouchable. And the HG said this man doing nothing with the land, he's just holding on to the lease. And they should build houses on this land.
Yes, and that's a Waterfield matter.
Yes, and this is the problem we have here. And I know people who have government land and they're doing nothing with it and they're selling in the market, buying groceries, buying vegetables from Akoya and selling it and they're sitting on government land. And I know people who are leasing land from private people and planting and selling in the market. That is a hypocritical thing to happen in this country. You see, it's recklessness in land management, and the state government, the farmlands going into industrialization. You will see in the middle of a city, you'll see a crematorium going up, and people have to smell dead bodies at night. This is the corruption that we have going on. And when HDC comes in, nobody wants to touch each other because it's like a whole, every entity operates like a silo. You think we could make progress like this, Mr. Ali? Can we make progress with our community? I want all to think about early education. If you are selling doubles, you think your son should be able to sell doubles? He better be a really good cook. But your son should aspire to be the best person he could be or she could be to his human expectations. and you don't do what we really wanted to do, we're going to not vote for the PNM again. Maybe there'll be a revolution after that. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you so much. 426, we lost some calls. Feel free to call 47-227-5739. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ken.
Hi, good afternoon.
Do you think Roger could run a pala? He wants to run an oil refinery. What he is, Sheikh Oman or something? All they could do is rob a row and be bad John.
No, but there's a troubling state of affairs.
Yeah.
And no headway, it seems to be made, it appears, in terms of the technical reopening, in terms of the financing. And so, and no update too.
Not just the technical part, the electrical part, the mechanical part, right? Is anybody maintaining it? So I think that will go into ruins eventually. So PNM mash up the oil industry, the sugar industry, the coconut industry, the Manning mash up the citrus industry up in that place up in Chaguanas there, right? Everything they're mashing up. Why they don't mash up Jam and Wine and Carnival? That was they should mash up. Actually, there's a Mongoose gang loyal to the PNM, right? In the police. So Mr. Kingsley, be very careful. PNM police it. Nobody was held responsible for it, right? The raid on Radio Jagriti, right? And other people could come and say all kind of thing and call them the media association, wherever don't say nothing, right? So it's one rule for one and one rule for the other. In a country where criminal lives matters, but the victim life do everything.
Yeah, thank you very much. 428, the continued shutdown. I think it's a play on words, because the government says it is not shut down, it is mothballed. Well, it's just a play on words. It's called semantics, really. But the fact is the operations remain shut down after all this period of time. Workers have gone home. When you mothball an operations, the operations with respect to restarting is time-consuming and also costly. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Ken, I want to make 2 points. First point, you know what happens in a country every 10 years, especially in Trinidad? Could you say?
What happens?
Every 10 years is supposed to have a statistical survey.
Okay. But we set up the statistical institute that we said was going to succeed, the CSO.
So
and that was a priority item of the manifesto.
That's right. So that is right. Second thing is, you started about Guyana. You know, today we need to pay a lot of respect to former Prime Minister George Chambers. You know, when Chambers lost that election in 1986, he took elects like a man and walked with his government and ensured that even though we have the similar in terms of cost of thought and diversity. And, you know, if in 1986 Chambers, let me say, there was any level of resistance, it would have had chaos in Trinidad. And that will continue. So, I mean, I'm glad that we are not in Guyana's position. And we continue to have a smooth transition, regardless of who wins.
And we always have, that's right. We must be proud of that, eh?
Yes, but there's one thing also, when a prime must always tender the resignation. That is my belief. That is the Westminster system.
Their resignation from where? From the party?
As political.
As a party matter, eh? The Constitution.
No, but it's a Westminster tradition.
No, it's not. Well, it can't be Westminster. It could be a party tradition. Westminster is a national constitution.
Well, we follow the British system, and
we follow the British system in name only, you know. When it suits us, we say that.
But truly, in fact, any political leader who is prime minister and loses a general election
should resign, and I agree with you.
Should resign immediately.
Yes, I agree. Mr. Manning lost in 1995. Well, he didn't lose, but he didn't win. And then he called his executive and asked them to pledge their loyalty, try to hold on after he lost again. And this time when they made him walk. Good afternoon to you.
Mr. Ali, good afternoon. Give me a minute, please.
Yes.
Mr. Ali, I believe that you tell me you're going to employ 4,500 people, 4,500, right? And open up Petrotrin. According to the caller, he can't run a power. But I know why you're doing that, you know.
Because Abdullah going to fight for it. He's going to fight each other, shooting the people and make them feel, hey, hello, vote for me now, vote for Abdullah. You understand? But then see again, they're playing semantics according to you. You understand? But people are not stupid, my friend. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Continue to call us 432, heading to just hear what you have to say on the issues. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Well, about Mr. Rosie, he might be able to Napara. He might not be able to run Petrotrin, but his mouth. Rest of that one. So, who will pay the principal right this time? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't quite hear you. You know, Mr. Roger was subdued at the Labor Day. I know there weren't big crowds, but there were speeches and all this fiery attack and so on of previous Labor Days and so on. Labor has declined markedly in this country. All the gains of Butler and Rienzi in 1937 and the others through the years, Weeks and others, look how badly labor, organized labor has fallen. Look, it declines in public life in this country. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Labor leaders that are openly selling their membership for political mileage. Because if you look at what Roger did to the Petrotrin workers, that accord they signed before the 2015 general election. Up to now, nobody knows what they signed for. What was that agreement that they signed with the PNM? Have you ever been privy to it? On many occasions, Roger has promised, even promised Robert Amar to bring it to his station. Up to now, 2 years and more. So I don't know why people still following Roger. Because he has taken away their livelihood. Probably some of them get a nice little lump sum. Those with constructive minds and constructive abilities will steer it in a way that it will benefit them. But what about those who have no ability to steer it? What will happen? There is more unemployment on the street. Roger not going to... listen to me. The patriotic energies. What is the experience in the oil industry? Just will it cost to refurbish and restart? Where is the finances coming from? Who is the financer? These are things that the public need to know before the handing over of that refinery. Because something is not sitting well with that. Because if the Aruba could buy gas and reach in Venezuela, and then it wasn't Aruba who buy it, what about if Roger buy Petrotrin refinery and end up in Venezuela? All of that we have to look at. Have a good day.
Thank you. And you know, I wonder if the Petrotrin issue is going to be an electoral issue. And on that yesterday, what are the election issues this year? Are there any election issues? It's the most unusual campaign. Having said that, we know that the Major Street campaign hasn't been launched yet, but I don't know if there's going to be a traditional street campaign anyway in terms of public meetings and things. Most of it is going to be on, but not many, I'm sure. Good afternoon.
I again say,
Hi.
1 month before the election, you're going to hear, believe what I tell you, Petrotrin going to restart back operation. Like to win the oil industry move. Right?
Yes, well, we want to know the terms and conditions. We want to know the cost to taxpayers and everything else in terms of production, in terms of exports, pricing, employees, and the entire works. And in addition to that, of course, there would be a cost of borrowing. Consultants need to be explained to the taxpayer. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ken and Ann. Ken, can I make a comment
Yeah.
about Ansel Roger? Did you hear him today on the radio?
No, I did not.
All right. Well, when you listen to Ansel Roger is an orator. An orator is a person who has command of rhetoric. They could speak really well. They could start talking. He has his own self-interest. If he really union workers, he would have delved into the private sector and help all the people who are trying to unionize. Clyde Weatherhead wrote a really good article, and it's actually true. He said in the private sector, when poor people who work in big companies try to get together in the trucking industry, and you can't unionize, they'll fire you on spot. They will terrorize you in your job and make your working conditions so horrible, you'll be so stressed out you might shoot yourself. That is the kind of stress these men go through. We emasculate our men. And you see, Ansel Roger, when he talks stuff on that podium, I want to tell all the union, because he's fooling all of you. And he only panders to politicians. And that whole thing with Petro Trindle, he's fooling all of you again. Listen to him carefully. He owns that narrative, and only he can write it. Nobody else will help him write it.
To the point where 10% of your workforce is unionized. How do you move forward from that? At a time when workers are under the gun, in a manner of speaking. Workers are losing their jobs, they don't have bargaining status and so on. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. K.
How are you?
I am better.
What's happening with the Sahara dust?
Well, it's still there, but it kind of gets lighter now. See the whiteness,
Yeah,
you know.
it seems like the worst was on Sunday.
Sunday and yesterday too.
Yesterday too, right.
Yes, because I started to get a little shortbread there.
But I want to tell you this before you go on. I never saw anything like what I saw on Sunday.
Yes.
I have never in my entire life.
I'm feeling better today.
Oh, Lord. Well, I said things get better. Look, you call and complain, nothing. So I said, listen.
Yeah,
I had the doctor on standby, eh?
Yeah,
I'll tell you his name. Dr. Rai Rackbeer was on standby. Yeah, but if the things are bad, I mean, all I have to do is call him, you know.
Right,
but I said, listen,
it.
you don't call and complain, so
No,
let's talk about other things.
Thank you again, Mr. Boris Johnson, saying that he making a press conference in London. He says cases could double in 5 to 6 days.
Yeah, the thing is getting bad in several places.
Yes, but he say he asking people to stay home and if they could work from home.
Okay.
Yeah, but my daughters and I'm going out back to work. But
Surge, yes, you're right.
Yes.
Okay.
So just tell them to tell you that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Yes, there is a surge in cases in several parts of the world. Again, I mean, one of our callers making the point that in the U.S. it may be connected to the Black Lives Matter protest, and that may be the case, but it's on several other parts of the world also. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Ken, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now, we want to employ early retirement. Let me, even Roger, listen, let me give you another advice. If Roger take over as a privately owned planet, and take it over the government, you have to pay money, you have to pay the server, so you have to own it as privately. That's number one. And it is not like the government, they could take every term they can have inside and rob the company. Every cent has to talk and every cent has to reach where it has to reach. So number one, you can employ 4,500 people. I could tell them that one side. So just stop fooling people going around and all that thing about 4,500 people. You fail as a union leader and call that as a failure. It's just because of this other man employee. Anyway, later you go talk about that.
Actually, I got a message on that just while you were speaking here. In fact, as I mentioned his name, but I don't want to get in that part. By the way, during the newscast at 4, someone sent me a message. I neglected to acknowledge it. They're saying that all attorneys who represented in this Guyana case did so through electronic means, through Zoom or Skype, right? Because we had a discussion.
Through virtual media.
Yes. So we had a discussion before 4 on that. Let me repeat that. According to this, attorneys who represented on this Guyana matter did so through Zoom or Skype. Good afternoon.
Mr. Ken.
Yes, sir.
One of blessed is Hello. You see this union thing, Mr. Ali? I think people who working supposed to open a big susu. And when the year comes, we share the money among ourselves. We have an industrial court and we have industrial lawyer. Hire them when something happens to one of the workers. And if we could unite like that, Mr. Kenali, let's put politicians aside. We have to keep saying, if you're a math teacher, you can't come and talk about English or biology. You have to come and talk about math. And if you go to talk about anything, they will say like that, math teacher gone mad. And you see Susu, thing a village is supposed to have, and kayak. When somebody house is, the neighbors come together and the people who are going to build the house provide the food and the people with the villagers provide the labor. And if we could come like that, Trinidad and Tobago would be a heaven. People have to, things don't change people. If people make something a heaven or a hell to our very own self. Issues what we're talking about, the union have this, the world way it is today. And you see Lord COVID, God has come in any form and any fashion. It's only he could give life and take life. And when he come as COVID, He's dealing with all of us. Have a blessed and wonderful
Thank
day.
you, sir. A few things to say. I neglected to say this yesterday. Let me do that and pay tribute and mourn the loss of a journalist in Barbados, this man named Christoph Griffith. Christoph Griffith, a journalist, just 25 years old. He went on an assignment as a photographer. The man going on this assignment and he was killed. So he's a brother journalist. We pay tribute to him. We mourn his loss, and this is sometimes a very dangerous profession. I just want to add our voice to that on behalf of the radio station. Now, I'm also getting some messages about some candidates and so on the UNC has named, and so we're getting several messages on that. We'll talk about it.
61, I'm going to renew license, mate.
Oh, your license?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The renew driver's license.
Right, well, I think you could just walk in.
Walk in. They didn't give an age as old age.
Once you're a senior,
senior
well, you
citizens
don't have a problem.
do not need to
You don't
make
have
an
a problem at all.
appointment.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to find out if I reach the date and I go late. You will say you're supposed to come and find out and nothing.
Well, then my best advice, Central, South, or North.
All right. I'll try to get it and lighten down our partner.
No, well, we have the document here, and Anne is giving you good advice. Go there. If you're outside of, if you're younger than 60, you have to make an appointment between 8 and 3 and so on and so forth. You know,
Yeah,
but
61
at your age you could. Go ahead.
I size 61.
Right, so you are a senior citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go in and go in early. You know, there might be a number of
The next
people there.
one.
All right.
The next one is about the house land by house lot.
Oh.
I went by the office the other day and a guy and a strange fella called me in the office day. He told me now it's election time, so you're expected to get anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good news.
That's good news. Everything happens at election time.
Yes.
Some things
Yeah,
just
but
never change.
You know what I pass away when I get a news?
It ought not to have been, so you're right.
Yes.
Yes.
You spend money where you have.
Yes, to get what is rightfully yours.
So when you go to a lawyer now, you don't make a promise that you'll sign a paper that will sell you land, you go pay him back with cash.
Mm-hmm.
But he won't keep it.
It's
So
unfortunate.
nobody has that kind of money to put on now, $20,000.
Yeah, gosh.
So one
As
fight
much
to the
as
land
that.
now.
Yes.
So you sell the land, when you sell the land, you give the lawyer more.
yeah. The transaction is only for the lawyer benefit.
Yeah, so you get a 2 grand sale, 10,000, you are the one.
Mm-hmm.
So you say, oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Keep us informed
Okay,
of how things go with you.
no.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. 13 minutes to 5 p.m. So the licensing offices are open, and you have to make an appointment if you are not a senior citizen. Once you're a senior citizen, they're saying you could just walk in and seek your service. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ali, again.
Uh-huh.
Now, the senior citizen thing has a catch. That's why I asked the question.
Right.
Now, when you go to NIS at age 60, they call it a... But when you reach 65, then they call it a senior citizen grant.
Right.
Think about what I'm saying. When you're 65 and you apply for the government pension, then they call it a senior citizen grant. So when are you considered a senior citizen in this country? That is what I want to know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You understand it, man?
We understand very well, yes, and how it
Right.
applies
So
there. That's
to
right.
have that clarified.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. And for clarity, all official releases, I wonder who write releases. I wonder, but get clear, be specific on these things. Do not assume anything, because the gentleman makes that point very clearly and applies it to this. Okay, so we 11 minutes to 5 p.m. We want to continue the discussion. Good afternoon. We lost you. 636-7547-227-5739. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon again, Ken.
Yeah, hi.
I feel in every department, government department, like office and union, they should have a senior citizen. Rather than everybody going there and say, I'm a senior citizen of a different area, and so senior citizen know that is the area. Thank you.
Yes. Well, I don't know if they did. I don't know, one way or the other. I don't know if they've done that. If you follow on to England, right, they're spending 3 weeks in quarantine. Today they had a game between themselves because they're still in quarantine. So that's a series I look forward to. I hope the guys do well. We're hearing a lot of things. Phil Simmons from Trinidad is the coach. So the guys played today. I think Shannon Gabriel, who is not only 14, has been bowling well and so on. I look forward to see how we would do, and I think I compliment the authorities for trying to get the game going again. I hope our team... Oh, on that note, I wanted to make this point, listeners. If you're a cricket fan, in 1975, 1979, I think the dates correspond exactly, but I could be assured it was in 23rd, 1979, and I also think it was June 23rd, 1975, the West Indies team won the World Cup of Cricket competitions for those 2 first years. If you were around and you remember and you love cricket, pride for us. I could probably name, as we go on, some of the members of the teams. But this year, 1979, I think this date, 1979, and I also think this date, 1975, the West Indies team won what would be first and the second cricket 50-over competition. And it was a moment of tremendous pride for us in the West Indies. Well, look what happened to West Indies cricket since then. So it is a day worthy of remembering because of how we lost no games in those 2 competitions. We lost simply no games in the final in 1979. Day in history as it pertains to cricket. I wanted to share that with you. 9 minutes to the hour of 5 p.m. We continue to take your calls as we move up to the 5 o'clock hour. Now, we're also on YouTube at RCL U97 for this call, and then we go on. Good afternoon to you.
Mr. Ali.
Yes, sir.
The whole West Indies batting side on this present team couldn't make up for 2 batsmen on them team you talking about.
Yes.
Gary Sobers and Rohan Ganai. The whole team couldn't make up for them 2 fellas.
In fact, in the first final in 1975, Lloyd made a century and Kanhai made 55. And in the second final in 1979, Richards made 138. I mean, those were great batting.
You're sure you have it right there? I think in the first final, Kanhai played second fiddle to Lloyd.
And Lloyd made 100 and something.
Because they was mowing them down. And Kanhai played the anchor role and let Lloyd have his way.
That is true. Yes, you figure, yeah.
And
that's what happened.
To make 50.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Otherwise, it wasn't for Kanhai be going through.
Yeah.
60 overs the first one, you know.
It could have been, yes. It could have been.
60 overs.
Yeah, I think we had Andy Roberts in the first final.
Right.
We had Ghana in the second.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Great cricketers of all time. In the second final, we had Fawood Bacchus and Larry Gomes and so on. Good afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Ali.
Yes.
The finals of 1983, when West Indies lost to India.
Mm-hmm.
That date coincide with the other 2 date finals?
I don't know, but I will check it.
You can make a check there. I just want to run 2 things by you again.
Yes.
As I said, will come up, I should say after, in the elections, because at Labor Day, don't let Faizabad, Roger, the only thing he could have said about Petrochin, criticizing Mrs. Bissessa, or saying that he shouldn't get, not wishing him well when the government offered him Petrochin to run the former Petrochin. That, just say, well, he didn't want to run it, and all the thing is, that will be there. And last thing, I license business. The expiry date to renew license is the same, or they remove it? I thought during the COVID period,
they had pushed it back if you had gotten a moratorium, if it was during that period.
31st of August.
Yeah, I don't know if it really speaks to that.
They didn't address it.
All right, they didn't address it in that.
Go with the same thing then.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you
Before
very
you
much.
go, the final in 1983 was on June 25th. So
just
2 days after.
Later.
At Lord's, also at Lord's.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. We never forget that day too. We ought not to have lost, and we lost. Good afternoon.
Okay.
Hi.
Did I miss Dr. Roger Hussein this week?
No,
you did not. He did not come on as yet.
Yeah, but
you haven't got him on yet.
No, but we will.
You know, I tell you, the economy is the centerpiece of the election to come, eh?
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear you say that.
Because Venezuela, I want to talk about it
Mm-hmm.
because I tell you that's the 3,000 pound elephant in the room. I would like to hear the UNC's position on Venezuela. They haven't given one yet. Eh?
Okay.
All they have been doing is echoing Marley Street. We haven't heard their position yet, right?
Do you see that as an electoral issue, Eric?
Oh, it is. It is.
Why?
If Mrs. Bissessa can give up her sovereignty and for anything they want.
But Eric,
yes?
What part of what the UNC says suggest that we want to give up our sovereignty?
Oh, let me tell you this. They have said that they are in agreement with the measures passed at the for the Rio to invade Venezuela. What did Mr. Professor say?
Eric.
Would she allow us to
Eric, Lord, you know, I just want to agree with you.
I'm telling you that is the 3,000 pound
Eric.
elephant in the room.
All right, partner.
That's the 3,000 pound elephant in the room, Ken.
Eric. All right, Eric, thanks. Thanks, my friend.
Eric, we are discussing the economy tomorrow.
Yeah, we
did see Ram. So
Eric,
you'll call
who is
in
to
then.
suggest that... Oh, Lord, Eric, man. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have to regain my composure.
Good afternoon again.
Good
Mr. Eric, state leader Eric William once said, if you send a donkey to the university and he come back with a degree, he come back as a graduate donkey. And you are sounding like one of that right now.
No, sir.
Don't label him, man.
No, sir. Criticize his ideas, but don't say. But go ahead with your point. You there? No, I think he left. He just wanted to say that. Eric, no, man. Okay. It's 3 minutes to 5.
Let's take this quick call before we take a break.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, Mr. Ken.
Yes, sir.
If you want
Yes.
You find something to put on.
Call us back after the break.
Yeah, we take this.
Call us back after the break.
Yeah, we take this top of the hour break and we continue our discussions.
U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Cunupia. For all your plumbing and electrical supplies, water heaters, filters, and water pumps. Plus all parts for Goul, Pentax, and Leo pumps. Choose from leading brands such as Cooper, Eno, Leviton, and General Electric. Call 665-6954 for more information. KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Cunupia.
Visited newest location inside JTA Supermarket, C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. They offer blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and pregnancy testing, as well as all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs, along with CDAP prescriptions. Sagicor Caricare International Medical Card, Guardian Life Provider Card, and Republic Bank points are all accepted at their 3 locations of Ed Building in Pinal and C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liqueur, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs. Advantage of our specials at reduced prices on liqueur, wholesale, and retail. We are open every day, even on public holidays, for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
Grand Diamond Hotel invites you to dine in our newest and exquisite grand opening Chai Thai restaurant situated at LP 12 Go. Come and enjoy our authentic and our outdoor terrace would be available from the 22nd of June. We can offer you our indoor and outdoor patio and rooftop restaurant dining. All meats halal. For reservations, call 331-5013-320-1093. Our email address chaithai19@gmail.com. Opening hours 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. Takeaway and delivery services are available 11 a.m. to 2:20 p.m. Secured parking and excellent services.
5:01, we continue our discussion of these relevant matters. We haven't spoken much about the election today. We could do that. We mentioned some of the matters that's taking place there. Well, I anticipate the UNC would be naming some more candidates soon. Oh, I'm seeing some pictures.
We are seeing speculation on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of
speculation.
A lot of speculation.
I'm seeing people congratulating persons as though they have been announced.
That's right, who have not yet been announced.
Yes.
And, well, we saw a picture here of Hussein. Of course, you know the relevance of that picture. Dr. Khan is the outgoing member of Parliament, and Saddam Hussein is the UNC's candidate for that constituency. It's a marginal constituency in the fullest sense of the word, because Dr. Khan won by just 540 or 550 something
540 votes.
540 votes the last election. So all eyes would be focused there. For now, all eyes on this call. Good afternoon.
Mr. Ken and Ms. Ann, good afternoon.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Concerning the single license office, right? I couldn't get through with the numbers that I have from license office. I asked the nephew to make the appointment online for me concerning permit. And they asked him date of birth and everything from my driver's permit. And no, but he make it online, but they didn't tell him anything. I don't know if online you could get any information about this.
Well, yes, they have evidence of online appointments. They also have telephone numbers that you can call.
My driver's permit will be up to date. I know I still have a leeway on it, but I'm thinking what I should do. If I could still go in before the 4th of August, or I could wait on the 4th of August.
Well, Anne has a big document in her hand. I don't know if it gives guidance on that. Anne, it says anything?
Well, they just said senior citizens are exempted from the use of the existing appointment system, right? And they have... Maybe I could announce the numbers for you to call back.
I have two numbers somewhere on clipboard here.
But tell us again, your DP, is it expires today?
Yes, my DP expired today. Right? But on the 22nd, yesterday, I know I had a month before, but because of this issue with the COVID, they say they will give you a leeway.
And you want to know how long that extends for? That's a good question.
No, but I make an appointment, and the appointment that they give to me, Mr. Ken, it is for
it's
the...
way beyond.
But as you say in there, you can go in any time.
If you're a senior citizen.
Right, I am.
Yes. Well, from what?
So I don't want that appointment.
Don't keep the appointment, but you should go in before.
Yeah,
that would be my advice to you.
Of course.
Because I don't want to go in there and they tell me that, look, Mr. Gentleman, you have an appointment. Why you didn't wait on the appointment? No.
Well, go in and talk to them and see how it turns out.
You know some of them patients are there.
Yeah, I know that.
They're not how
Okay, thank you. For those who don't have the numbers, it's just three numbers here. It's 612-2700, 612-2701, and 612-2710. Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, call those numbers.
Yeah, you have a grace until August, so I guess that will be the whole of August.
It will be applicable.
Yes. So
I think yes.
So you don't need to worry.
Yeah, I think your analysis is correct. As well as people licensing.
They need some communication specialists there.
That's right. 506. Continue to call us. 636-7547, 227-5739. We say hello to our online on YouTube, RCLU975. If you are logged on to 975radio.com, we thank you. Our colleague here, Shiva, is doing a wonderful job with respect to the YouTube channel. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Ken.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Today my husband office, right? He said the security guard told him to go to the back and check, to go by number 3. When he go there, the guy have to make an appointment. Number that Mizuki just called, that not working. You could call how much? It's not working. They tell him now to go online and make appointment.
Oh, God.
And he's 63,
Yes,
63. Him going in number 3, everything. Bring in the car, everything, and time now to the do the inspection. They said, no, you have to have an appointment. So you see, it's a run around you get it.
It is, and it's contrary to what they're telling us officially.
Yeah, so it's not true what they're saying. Make a call and you will get through. You're not getting through at all.
Okay, we have to try.
Well, the most I to the back, he meet another security, and they said to go to the back,
And
he
this
will
would
get
be
through. But when he went there, he didn't get through.
Where this would be? Which office?
Carney.
Carney.
Yeah,
The head office at Carney.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
So you all take care.
Thank
Enjoy
you
the
for your
program.
call. To get to the bottom of this, if we have any officials of the licensing department, the transport commissioner, or anyone who can call us, we'd appreciate that. If not, we'll try to get the truth behind the story. Good. Yes, sir.
And instead of talking, we are helping out one another. We have to know the laws of this land. And when you go on security talking to you, say, sir, I come here to do my business. You are here to guide us. Not to tell the doctor work, the lawyer work, the judges work. And this is why we, the citizens, have to help one another. Guide us. And Mr. Ken, you're doing your program going to be #1 in Trinidad. And you must get some lawyers to come and educate the people too. There is people need help, Mr. Ken Ali.
Yeah, thank you,
There
sir.
people need that.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. It's a team effort here with Anne and Shiva and our other team members. Good afternoon to you.
Pleasant evening to you all.
Hi.
Can these people still moving the statue in policy?
Well, the mayor said give him a little time. I feel eventually he has to bring it down there.
Yeah, but look, the latest Donald Trump put out an order to arrest anybody trying to move money.
Yeah, he's here. That's
Yeah, so how foolish can we be?
Yeah.
This is our history.
Yes.
We were not there this time.
And I think we
Why
have
should
more
we
urgent
object?
issues to deal with.
Yes, and what's the latest with the NIS?
The oh Lord, you're shameless there, Anne. Yes. Listen,
We will follow it up later.
If
They
it's,
get in Trinidad to pick up their people, the foreigners, right?
Mhm.
And it's by 4 hours they close the border to refuse the people that come from Barbados.
yes, that is true. Yeah, just a few hours. Correct. And they had come from halfway around the world, eh? They
Yes,
only,
they came from halfway around the
Yeah.
world.
mm-hmm.
Oh, that is so unfortunate.
It is.
So it is another program. It's so shameful for the
Yeah.
government to do and have the Barbados trying to keep them. And
Yes,
they even keep
yeah.
appealing to the government
Yeah, and the
to
Stuart
open the
Young.
borders and take them.
That's right. That's
and
right.
they refuse.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Mayor Motley will come out on top in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much. 5:11. We will try to get some details on that matter for you. There's some speculation also, which we'll deal with that. Hi, good afternoon.
Just now, I think you say you have some people, some release saying that even as senior citizens could go.
Yeah, we've been saying that.
63 years is a senior citizen, right?
Well, we also, like you just joined the discussion. We've been talking about that for a little while. Uh-huh.
That senior citizen be 65 years and over, right?
Well, that
opinion.
We're not sure. We're trying to establish that. The document doesn't
We
say.
have to establish that if 63 is a senior citizen, so 65 is senior citizen.
Right. Well, that's what
And if we know the two between the two, that who is senior and who is it, then the lady with 63 years, you have to make an appointment. And the one who's 65 years, you can walk in.
Good.
And everything will finish. And if you reach to that age, and you see all this serving licensing office to get a license, then stop driving, don't go nowhere, and call it a day.
Yeah.
They didn't specify.
And on the basis of that is what led to all of this. And you see, that's the same point we're making, that if
They should be specific in the release. Hello, good afternoon.
Sorry to call back, but nevertheless, can tell me something. Borders still not wrong?
If the borders are, yes, the
Yes,
borders
it
are,
is.
yes, the
But I
international
will
borders.
say no, because you go down Cedrus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we call that open. If you see other fellas coming in, at the club, I want to really go now.
Thanks. Well,
As-
you may be right, Ken. I am seeing lately more and more of them all over the place.
Yes, and then there is the
Sunday night in my community, they were fighting among themselves.
Oh boy, they're all over, and they're creating social turmoil too.
Just so you might hear them arrested and being deported back.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Normally, before this COVID, 60 years in license office is senior, and you have to get a medical passport with you. You stick it onto it and stamp it, and you go by the doctor and get your do
So you
it.
have to get the form from the licensing office?
Yes, I just walk in after you present the form from the doctor. You just walk in and take out your picture. That was before this COVID. I
Right.
don't know what they will be doing.
But I don't see why it should change.
No.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
I'm looking at a government website here. It talks about the senior citizens grant is a monthly grant of so and so to persons 65 years of age. I'm trying to define what the government considers to be
senior citizen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Ken.
Hi.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I forget to tell you afternoon just a while.
That's okay.
Yeah, but I know you're there. But this is sad. A tsunami and an earthquake in one in Mexico. That is so sad. After the earthquake, the tsunami come right after it, and at least one person is injured. Several people injured.
Okay. Yes,
yeah,
thanks.
That is sad. That is really sad. Thank you.
Yes, thanks. Thank you very much.
She's almost CNN, BBC
she's
reporter,
serving as an international correspondent for us. Thank you very much. And there are reports in the international media about this Saharan dust in the Caribbean. It's as bad as that. So the international media is covering it. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you tell us, get on to see you all on the YouTube? Very slowly, please.
Very slowly, he says. You go to youtube.com. YouTube, Y-O-U,
yes.
T-U-B-E.com.
Yes.
And you go to search.
Yeah, you search and you see
Yes.
RCL.
R what?
R as in...
round.
Yeah.
RCL, uppercase.
PL?
RCL.
RCL.
Capital
uppercase.
letters.
Yes.
975.
75.
Yep.
That's it.
We could try that and I didn't get it.
Okay.
Try again. Yeah, thank you,
Right,
sir.
so talk to your technician. Okay, good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You're saying? Yeah, there's a space. There's a space.
Between R5, there's a
Yeah.
space, yes.
So here...
And if you even go to Parasram Productions, you'll see
Yeah.
all of the videos from before.
And the person who is doing the work is
Shiva
Shiva Parasram,
Parasram.
who is a professional in his field. So CNN is reporting historic Saharan dust plume darkens skies in the Caribbean, and they're so correct. And it's a 7.4 magnitude earthquake in afternoon.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Ken.
Good afternoon.
Right, I can remember when I renewed my driver's permit for free. Well, it's free. Everything I had to pay for, but you don't have to pay any money at license. I just
Right, okay.
Sit and put it and they give it to go by a doctor or whatever.
All right, right. So you have to pay for that.
And so, well, yeah, I had to pay by the doctor or the doctor, your friend. Right,
That is if you're a senior citizen.
Senior
Yes, well,
citizen, yes.
I could remember doing it at 60.
Okay.
For free. You get it for free, eh?
Right.
So then there's a
You
technicality
don't have to
there.
pay any $100 and it'll be 2 years.
You see the value of becoming a senior citizen? And you heard that? rush up and become a senior citizen. Well, I tell you.
You'll have to pay after $150 to go license with some support.
Right. Well, look. So you save at least the $200 or whatever the sum is. Good.
Okay,
There's a value.
thank you.
Yes, yeah. I thought our society must treat its senior citizens. They shouldn't have to pay cost for most of these transport. I think public transport is free.
It's free now.
I think the inter-island transport and several other things, When you go to the supermarkets and think they must subsidize those things. You don't find so? Senior citizens, good afternoon to you. Hi, yes, sir.
License offices are haven for corruption. Right now, in a van, when you go there, she take your picture. The doctor takes your picture. And you pay her $100 to fill out the form. Just outside the license office. She making tens of, try to put the offices of the doctors inside of the license office. So the government, they could say what they want to fight corruption. They encourage corruption.
Thank you.
You know, all those people who provide services around the licensing, or it's an industry, you know. So who taking pictures and who doing this and who doing the other? It's a big industry.
Yeah, you don't want to leave the compound.
And
you want to get it done right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course. We ain't talking about the fellow who's selling doubles and things, which we applaud.
It's a whole industry.
It's a massive industry, and there are a lot of people there every single day. Good afternoon. Hi.
Afternoon.
Yeah, I heard on two occasions, which is a caller and yourself, Mr. Ali, when speaking about the pension, the old age pension, put it that way, and you use the word grant. Now, I said, I just a call to say that for you and the callers generally, we have gotten rid of that word grant since Mr. Malin died.
Okay.
Right? When Mr. Fisher came into office, he changed that word from grant to what it really is, right? So don't make the mistake.
No, well, I was just reading the document. I was just reading what they're saying. So the initial error came there.
Whoever put that out, they go back in time.
Yes. So yeah. Thank you. Yes, I know there was some contention about the grant because people are saying, of course, they're entitled to it. It's not a grant. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ali.
Hi.
And good afternoon, Anne and the listeners. Mr. Ali, you know, on the radio we get lots of information. And the people who want to go and renew their license, everybody who live in the area, it have a health center. All you have to do, take the form and go and get it to the health center, let the doctor sign it for you, especially if you're in a clinic. They will have your records. And then when it is, to take out the the picture, if you have passport pictures, it can be used as long as like about a year, so it can still be used. So when it is, Mr. Ali, nobody gets rich out of me,
You beat the system.
Of course, Mr. Ali. I will beat the system all the time. I'm not stealing.
So I could use a young boy picture then?
No. The thing about it, you have the picture because when they come to you and they're in the system, Mr. Ali, $100 is a little bit, but it's plenty.
Of course.
You understand? Yes. And I look at every dollar. If you have $99 and you don't have a dollar, you don't have $100. And I look at it how to be the system. I'm not stealing, I'm not robbing. I try to get information, and especially when I have to get my medication, Mr. Ali, I take the phone and I call the different pharmacy and we have it. And when I find out we have it, I will tell my neighbors and them, and I will tell them only go and get it before it's finished. And that is how I operate. So I am not going to spend no bad dollar, especially in this wrong, Mr. Ali. I look at everything, ways and means how to do it, and I go and I do all those things in order to save me. And rightfully said, for the pensioners, the coach, the bus, and then the other public transport. And I think also that they go to Tobago free of charge in the boat. Yes, Mr. Ali. Because I remember I went to the water taxi and go to the destination from Mr. Ali.
So they go and buy Tobago fish then?
Tobago fish, and then take the water taxi, and they go back to San Fernando. And you see, Mr. Ali, another thing, angry with me. When it is we were small, our parents take care of us. And now when they get older, we should take care of them. Don't just, a lot of people what they do? They drop the children and coming back and leaving for the weekend. And Mr. Ali, it hurts me to know when I hear about children doing honor our parents. And I would like to see other people doing the same thing. You won't have the time all during the weekend every day. But at least take time out to spend quality time with much. Have a blessed and wonderful afternoon.
Thank you very much. We are going until just before 6. We continue to take your calls. 636, find us RCLU 975. You can log on to our website 975radio.com, or of course listen to us on the dial of 975 FM. Now, the reports with respect to the Saharan dust is they're talking to weather experts here, and they're saying they have never seen anything like this in their lives. Extraordinary situation, one person said, and one person says definitely historic. I have not through the years really taken much interest in the Saharan dust, but what I'm seeing these past few days is something I'd never seen before, and the reports are saying, the international reports saying that the Caribbean, which is known for have a hazy brown gray color. And imagine this dust plume is traveling the Amazon.
Can you remember I was telling you about the sunrise?
Yes.
It changed the color of the sun to white.
Yes, and it's, if you are a photographer and so on.
Yes, I took it out. I snapped it.
Good. You could take a series of pictures over the next few days. The astronauts are getting so.
Moon.
Yes.
Perfectly round and white.
And so, unlike this expert is saying, in past, when the Saharan dust travel, it gets dispersed and so on, or gets dropped into the ocean. But I guess much more is traveling this time, and they're between 20 and 30,000 feet in the air. So because of that, they're traveling longer distances, and most of them are collapsing here in this part of the world, in the Caribbean, and the pictures are incredible, and so on and so forth. Well, what we yes, in terms of being here in the Caribbean, some in the south of the U.S. and some getting to Central America and some to South America. It is as much as that. It is really history taking place before our eyes. I hope nobody gets affected.
A little bit Mother Nature, that but they're cutting down all the forest and not plant back no trees. They're cutting down the trees from on the mountain. And this is when it touches the law of nature, this is what you get. Man-made spoiling everything in the season. Have a blessed, wonderful day.
Thank you. Yes, so the first thing you notice is that it's not blue anymore, it's milky haze. That is all
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Ken.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
If you don't mind me changing another subject here.
No, of course.
Go ahead.
I'll let me talk about this money in Tobago and the Auditor General. Can the Auditor General command them or force them to account for the money?
No, you can't. No, it is, the auditor really does what the name says. So you have, auditing goes, you have to produce the relevant documents and so on. You don't have to justify the expenditure. What you're doing, what the auditors do, any auditor do, is they try to match spending and income with documentation. So that's all the auditor does.
So they're spending almost $4.75 billion this time.
Yes.
But most of the time, $3.5 billion, and all they're giving us is giving this money and no accountability.
And there's no accountability. None.
And we cannot do them anything for that.
You understand? Not a thing. And yes.
So we can't give them independence.
Well.
No, Ken, I want to ask you something. What is England or Spain to have these people with us?
Yes. Well, let me be sure about it. I could give you the history of it. Yeah.
But if you know, you could look it up and find out.
That's what I'm going to do.
I mean, I know they don't like white people, but they like the white people who tie them up with us. Because if you read about it, 1886, that is why they went and sent somebody throughout the Caribbean or where to find food to feed them, and the man went and get breadfruit. Because it'll be right through the year. It's a whole set of things. Look it up for me now, because I would really like to know what kind of shameless people are. They have to know what you just tell me there, that there is no law to do anything. Because I know when Kamala and them were there, I think in 2012, they sent Jeffrey London with a little hand cap with a stick out cement and thing from hardware. He put one set of papers and laugh at me and he said, here, all the words account here, take that. And they go on. And this is the only thing, you don't have character. You have to be shameless to do things like this. What's your money you're giving the Trinidad and Tobago is one. Sure, have more people than all you. And they're getting what, $14 million, or they're getting 3-point-something million. Or they have shame enough to account for the people money. But Tobago is supposed to be a paradise. This $3.1 billion. If you're going to divide that, each person in Tobago, the other 60,000 people, we get $7.5 million. What is doing with the money? Tobago should be a paradise. That's okay?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they should have a law or some kind of thing. Decent people like Regional Dumas and them should say something. Have a nice day, boy.
Thank you. You know, how they call it? Ring bang. And that was part of it 20 years ago and so on. But the history of Tobago is fascinating, in fact. And here's the subject of raids from the 16th and early 17th century and colonization attempts by the Dutch, British, and French beginning in 1628. Right? In 1763, Tobago was converted to a plantation economy by British settlers and enslaved Africans. To 1781, during the Anglo-French War, it returned to British control in 1793 during the War of the First Coalition, but was returned to France in 1802. The island was recaptured by the British in 1803. Right? So that is the history of Tobago, but it requires more efficient control, and this has not taken place. On top of that, the spending is one and the misspending. But on top of that, you know, the major employer in Tobago remains the THA. The hospitality sector is in the state it's in. Roads are not good. Crime has been getting worse. In other words, the services are not what ought to be desired. Or gave them $50 million to improve plant and equipment for the hospitality sector. All of that. Now, small islands always get a disproportionate amount. In other words, you can't really say that you compare how much Chaguanas gets or even how much Port of Spain gets with Tobago, because they have their issues. But the state of Tobago's administration has been unacceptable. But Tobago is really under its own management, really. We talk about internal self-government for Tobago. I think essentially they have that, and with little accountability to the central government. 2:28 minutes to the hour of 6 p.m. Oh, so we're talking about Tobago. We're talking about the Saharan dust. We're talking about the cricket. We talk about
licensing
the politics.
Office.
The licensing office. I don't know that there are any elections.
What are they campaigning on?
Yeah, what are they campaigning on, and when will the campaign begin anyway? I want to see what the ads will be saying and so on. Maybe it's the economy. I don't see Venezuela as an electoral issue, and I think the way Eric tried to position the issue was not a
manifesto.
Here is well, I have to give our friend Jack Warner a little heckle on this matter.
Yes.
You know, I mean, Warner, listen, man. You take your newspaper, page one of your newspaper, is this person from CNC3 resigning? People resign all the time and go all over the place. What is this big issue? Give us a big scandal or a big racket or something.
A big government scandal.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in you, Mr. Warner. What was the story here? Anyway, we will interview you on that one day. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kenneth.
Hi.
You know, I was thinking, like I was driving around today and I was like shopping around and I had to wear this mask.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you go into a store, you have to wash your hands and you have to,
yes.
And not the material, but the cotton mask or whatever, the surgical thing, and it gets muggy and it starts falling apart. They have to get another one. But washing my hands so many times, I noticed that a lot of times people aren't even following the right method of washing your hands, because you wash your hands and you close the tap with your hands, and then another person touches it and you have to use a carriage and you're wiping. And I don't think there's any real kind of protocol that everybody's following, like a uniform protocol. So I feel like, it's haphazard again, and, the government, of course, will take credit for good things, but when there's bad stuff happen, they'll blame us. The other thing, because you don't have inspectors walking around, you have police walking around, you don't have health inspectors walking around. The other thing I wanted to say was this. Look, this is where I stand. I believe black people in this country are under, they've been exploited and they need land. And we have to find housing for these people, because we've always had to bow down to the private sector. Let me think about it. The private sector controls the whole Caribbean,
Okay.
And, I feel like our Prime Minister, he bows down to them every time. And the only time he spoke up was Faria. And Mr. Faria was on, he spoke very openly. But when it comes to the politicians and speaking up, Mr. Faria cowers too. So he hurts us in the end.
He backed out.
He backed.
The Chamber of Commerce would put pressure on him. Yes, thank you.
They're talking about the license. I didn't get to hear.
Yeah, hello?
Hello?
Ken?
Yeah.
I didn't get to hear Shanwala discuss it. What is about the licensing office?
Yeah, we talk about the licensing offices and so on.
Are you a senior citizen?
What?
Senior citizen.
No.
Oh.
What happened is they give a number to call but to renew a license, and 2 weeks I calling it now and I can't get through.
Well, you're the third person calling in and saying that.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll send them a note on it.
All right. We have some breaking news here out of the Guyana. Valid and credible votes of the March 2nd polls, right? That's the election in Guyana. To the Guyana Elections Commission, that is GCOM, showing a victory for, you waiting for this? APNU and AFC. He invalidated almost 25 at the March 2nd polls. I told you all this matter is not going to end anytime soon and may not end well. So let me repeat that. Law Elections Officer has just submitted a report to GCOM out of the election of March 2nd, saying with a valid and credible votes, right? He's saying that this is a list of the valid and credible votes, number of votes, and there's a victory for the incumbent, APNU and AFC, in other words, the Granger administration. He invalidated, in other words, he says 25% of the votes of Civic are not correct. So he is putting that there as I'll tell you what is the breakdown he has for the number of seats. He has APNU as winning 33 seats, winning 31 seats, and one of the small parties getting 1 seat. Of course, there's 65 seats. So that is happening now as we speak, brand new. Breaking news, we thought this afternoon, the latest news out of Guyana. We've been saying for a while that is not going to end anytime soon, and it appears that the more things change in Guyana, more it remains the same, and it's going to happen. So the frustration for the electorate in Guyana continues. The frustration for Irfan Ali and Bharat Jagdev continue, and for those who support the PPP Civic. So brand new, just emerging, and that report putting the APNU AFC as the winner. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon.
But you know, the GCOM chair, she had the authority to refuse the paper if it's not correct. You know that? Another thing, I was just seeing on Facebook there, CJ, they win the case in the CJ this morning. Do you hear more about it later?
All right.
Yeah, I know what's it on Facebook.
Okay, all right.
They win the case. So, you know. Another thing I said wait until the 16th, or around the 16th or the 17th of June, and then they will see things. So you see? They say that raising on accept.
Yes, yeah, indeed.
Okay then.
Thank you very much. So that's the latest with respect to the Guyana situation. We can take a few more calls before we wrap up. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. I can't tell what you're reading, and I can't tell what you're hearing. Now is the right and good time for the people that come in Guyana. If they could come in Venezuela, they could come in Guyana and make them understand that I can't get Venezuela from inside right now, because you can't say the people that by 15,000 something votes, and now you as the election officer say, no, that's not true. No, it's time for Trump administration to get inside.
Thank you. You know, the recount was supervised by the CARICOM observers and others, and it was considered, and that final figure had the PPP Civic ahead by about 15 or 16,000 votes. Now Mr. Lowenfield on his own, it seems, and is saying something altogether different. Good afternoon.
Ken, good afternoon again. Ken, you know, there's a faceless group of people in Trinidad who continue to disparage Tobago, and I do not know why. It is clear there's a great degree of ignorance that exists. They want to compare an island to Shoguna's ridiculousness is this. When you look at the responsibility of the members of the Tobago House of Assembly, each one of them can be called sub-ministers because their performance functions.
No, Eric, just before you go on, I agree with that, and I made that point. You cannot, in any country where there are small states, it's a disproportionate expenditure. So you're reaching to the converted here. The point I am on is the lack of accountable managers in Tobago.
All right, but Ken, that lack of accountability straddles Trinidad also.
So in other words, because it's doubly bad, you're saying because it's...
I'm saying it is public servants and bureaucracy. They seem to never get it right. But you see, the point I want to leave you with, Ken, is simply this. These individuals who continue to play fast and loose with the union between Trinidad and Tobago are the ones who are going to be responsible for the destruction of this economy. I've warned them before. Gas, which we bottled and sold LNG between 2000 and 2012, most of it, 90% of it, came off the coast of Tobago. And if they feel they want to play fast and Tobago decided to pack up and go, what are you going to do? Tell them they can't go?
Yeah, but Eric, I'm restating what I just said. The issue of accountability with taxpayers' money.
I am agreeing with you, but can we have the same problem in Trinidad?
Well, it does not make it right. Eric, that does not make it right.
How many times have the Auditor General crowded about Trinidad and we get this and didn't get that?
And how we deal with that?
Many times. And they do like if it is unique to Tobago. It's not unique to Tobago. It's something that straddles both islands.
I thought you...
But of course I denounce it. I abhor mediocrity. Right? I'm saying to you, Ken, that the way they disparage Tobago, they play fast and loose with the union.
You can't stop people from their point of view. Yeah, but policy makers must deal with that at a policy level. It doesn't mean that certain people...
Yes, we can. It's the bureaucracy.
Okay.
Right? You would have to prove that somebody was unjustly enriched in the money the Auditor General is talking about. Other than that, there's no crime. Okay?
Okay, thank you. No, well, accountable for expenditure. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to show a man build a big house or buy 5 cars or anything. If there is an absolute misallocation of funds or lack of accountability, people must be held accountable, but nobody historically is. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ali. Mr. Eric is Dr. Williams, who discredited Tobago under his watch when Robinson split with him and he had the DAC. Tobago was seen through gas and working as ministers and thing under Eric Williams. You can't remember that? He strangled him. All of a sudden now, it's so important to the PNM. But under Robinson, Eric Williams didn't exist for Eric Williams. And you see, John was the Minister of Finance under the UNC party. When he asked for them to produce the accounts, they didn't want to. They didn't do it, and they had the problem from them with government because they want money and they don't want to produce where to spend it. Thank you very much.
There must be accountability, and the fact that there's an absence of accountability here, in Trinidad, doesn't make what's happening in Tobago right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ken. You are Trinidad, you know, sir?
Yep.
So you don't know in Trinidad every time you find a fault somewhere. You hear, when them do that too? That's Trinidad business. Anytime you find something wrong somewhere, there's this as well, so that makes it right.
Yeah. That's illogical.
That's why we could never get change in this country.
Yeah, it's always somebody else.
You see, people, the only change will come. Support a particular party, say to that party, listen, this is not going the right way, this is not in our interest. But you'll always find people supporting their party. Hey, and them do it too. So we could do it too. It's we time now. This is why we're going down the road like head in a basket. Thank you, Ken.
The policymakers must deal with the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago. That's not for emotionalism and so on. Eric, I don't know how you could want to suggest or deal with things in an emotional way. If people emotionally feel a certain way about an issue, that's their right to do so. But the policymakers are the electorate, which is a totally different thing. Good afternoon.
Mr. Ali.
Yes.
You know why the UNC the only and they're still around? UNC have intelligent people, boy. Them all Indian people that I know when I used to work all in Barack Ponson, if Eric know intelligent, then we are not listening, you know. But you see the sense that they have, that is why UNC is still around.
Right.
So Eric only wasting any time trying to what he's trying to do.
All right, thanks. Good afternoon. We lost you. We have very limited time. We are heading to just before 6. We'll have a newscast for you before number 1 talk show in the morning. Tomorrow we expect to have Wade Searam to talk about several things, including this $500 million US loan that Trinidad and Tobago has negotiated. Subscribed, but what it does, it may be oversubscribed, but it adds to our debt burden. In other words, much more money we have to repay. Let's take this call. Good afternoon. Hi, good afternoon.
But not there.
Okay, we have limited time. You can call us back. I say it again. It is RCLU975, or you could log on 975radio.com, and of course, we are on your radio dial 970 for having us. Feel free to access us there. And as we move on for the next few days.
I do decision on his own.
Yeah, I don't know that.
He was mandated to make that decision by the appeal court. Right? The matter took place yesterday, and quite interestingly, the lawyer in the matter was our Attorney General John Jeremy. Right? So just to give you all that information. Thanks.
Okay, just now. The court I think the appeal court ruled on one order, and that is an interpretation of language. That on, right? So that's a separate matter. Let's get clear about what the court was asked to rule on five matters. The court said we are ruling on one, and that is an interpretation of what is valid vote. So all there, and has introduced a report that says the APNU AFC has won election. I think we would be in this melee for quite a long time for the Guyanese people. Well, we are heading up to the top of the hour. We have a newscast, so we've got to go for today, the Tuesday. So we have a newscast. After that, great programming. If you're on the roads, drive safely, drive defensively, and continue to enjoy us and have yourselves a wonderful evening.
Visit Eddie's Pharmacies Limited newest location inside JTA Supermarket. Blood sugar, cholesterol and pregnancy testing, as well as all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs, along with CDAP prescriptions. Sagicor Caricare International Medical Card, Guardian Life Provider Card and Republic Bank points are all accepted at their 3 locations of Eddie's Pharmacy Limited. RS Building, Rosha Douglas Road, Barrackpore, GN Building in Pinal, and